introduce shock or friction to it, then it explodes. It detonates very, very rapidly. This is actually stronger than TNT.
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to C4 Table Talk. Y'all already know what the deal is. Y'all already know the vibes. Y'all know we gonna bring that energy, and you already know who it is. It's your boy Mari, and I got my boys with me as always. We got that boy Dave in the building,
Hey, what's good with everybody?
and we got that boy Lucas in the building.
What up? What up?
And unfortunately, today we do not have Brandon with us because this man would rather go to a wedding celebration than be with his boys recording a podcast.
Slash.
It's crazy.
Been bullshit and hasn't even seen. Oh wait, no. Wait, did he see the movie?
No, I don't think so.
What's
Bullshit.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But could be me. I couldn't imagine, going to go celebrate somebody's wedding instead of being with my bros. Come on now. That's side note. Brandon, if you just listen to this, you sip it. No, I'm just playing. But no, man, we got a good episode for y'all today. But before we get into it though, I don't know if y'all have watched it yet, but the Stan Lee documentary on Disney Plus is really good.
All right, but I have to watch it.
It's kind of short though. It's like an hour and 15 minutes. And it's about his life and it's about like Marvel and everything. And the reason why I brought that up is because of what we're going to be talking about today. Because that man, Stan Lee, the way he created some of the characters in the just Marvel comics is crazy. Like this man created the Fantastic Four based off of like them going into outer space, like the moon, to like the moon and everything. Like it hit like it's crazy to just see all the different types of stuff. And then he created Spider-Man, like literally because I don't know, there was something going on with like teenagers or something at the time, and this man was literally just sitting at his house and he was looking at a wall, and there was a fly on the wall. He was like, "Imagine if there was like a superhero that could climb, be on walls, everything like this." And it's just crazy. And then the name Spider-Man came from a book that he used to read. The title of it was Spider, and it was like Amazing Men of something. And one of the dudes in the book, he wore this ring that had a spider on it, and that's literally how.
Interesting.
That's literally how he came about Spider-Man. And speaking of Spider-Man, we are going to be doing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse review today. It's been a long time coming for this episode, man. Just sit back and relax, man. That's all I gotta say. Y'all gonna enjoy this review. It's gonna be a lot going into it. As always, we gonna start it out with the boys guessing the IMDb ratings and the Rotten Tomatoes ratings for this one. So, what do y'all think? I also want to point out, when I created these notes, I wrote this down like a couple of days after I went and saw it, and I checked today, and the ratings haven't changed. So, yeah, that's crazy. It's been a couple of weeks since it came out too.
All right. Which one you doing first? IMDb?
Yeah, IMDb.
I'm going to say a 9.8.
Whoa, high. I'm gonna say 8.9.
IMDb gave it a 9 out of 10, and with it being a 9 out of 10, it is the highest rated animated movie on IMDb, and it is the second or third highest rated superhero movie on IMDb, above The Dark Knight,
Wow.
Avengers, and I want to say the other one was Infinity War. But it's crazy. It's like Black Panther, this movie, Infinity War, like Dark Knight, Avengers, like all of them are up there like in the 90 percentile for like IMDb ratings and stuff like that. which says a lot about this movie compared to those other movies, especially this being animated. But Rotten Tomatoes, what do y'all think Rotten Tomatoes score is for this movie?
88%.
90. We'll go 96 this time.
And that boy Lucas is correct. It is a 96% from the critics and a 95% from the audience. Which, I am not going to lie, this might be one of the most accurate ratings from critics that we've reviewed, any movie that we've reviewed so far.
Agreed. Absolutely agree. This movie was. We needed this. That's what I'm just gonna say. Like, and it's crazy. I know there's still some good movies coming out, but
We need
it's
something
gonna
to
be
hold
hard.
us over.
It's gonna be hard to
need
top
something to
that
hold
one
us over.
too.
Hey.
It's gonna be hard to top that one.
Hey,
too,
we was in
so.
the drought. We was in the drought, but hey, we got a little bit of water. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of water. Quench our thirst a little bit.
I think it was it was the Guardians episode. I think Dave said it. He said the best movie that came out so far this year. Hey, you are not lying, brother. This movie was absolutely amazing, and we are going to get into everything from the soundtrack, the animation, the characters, our thoughts of the ending, and just everything in this. But to start it out, what is everybody's ratings for this movie? What did y'all think about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Also, I went back and I listened to the Guardians review. Noted, I am sorry for calling it Into the Spider-Verse instead of Across the Spider-Verse. I kept saying Into the Spider-Verse for some reason. But anyways, Lucas, you look like you ready to jump and give yours right away. So I'll let you
So we're saying it's out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 12. Like that movie, it's honestly could go down as one of my favorites of all time. I don't know, just like the animations. It wasn't like too cheesy or nothing. It was just like a perfect, bro. And then the soundtrack to top it off, man.
That soundtrack is
Like I want to go rewatch it now and then hear when the songs come in just to like really understand it, you know. But yeah, it's S+ rank. I mean, whatever, bro. It's there.
it's an S rank movie for sure. This movie, and I know Dave, we said this time and time again on this podcast that a movie will never ever be a 10 out of 10. But I'm not gonna lie to you. This one came fairly close, brother. This one I have to give a 10 out of 10, bro. It didn't miss on anything. Like, the more I just keep seeing people break down the movie, the more I keep seeing reviews, people giving their thoughts. I haven't heard one bad thing about this movie. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but this movie it hit for me. It was really good. 10 out of 10. Soundtrack was amazing. Animation was amazing. This movie took forever to make, for one, and it is absolutely just
Worth the wait.
mind blowing, really worth the wait. And besides the little kid ruining my experience in the movie theater, this movie was still really good, man. It was really enjoyable. Really good just seeing Miles and all those characters again. So it was a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.6 for sure. 9.6. The movie was great. All those aspects that they covered, everything was good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to diving in a little deeper.
Hey Dave, before we continue, bro, I gotta know what doesn't give it its 10.
Bro, let's go into the. We're gonna go in there.
All right.
Hold on. Right. This is a better question, Lucas. What is it gonna take for you to give a movie a 10 out of 10? Is that even possible for a movie to be a 10 out of 10 for you, Dave?
I don't know. It's gotta blow my mind. I think it could be possible. Maybe a 9.9. But hey, that's tough.
Bro, this man needs to not use whatever browser he used.
That's tough. He need to go in incognito mode.
But yeah, let's jump into this and let's kind of just start with what I said of it took forever for them to make this. Bro, some of the animations in this movie took 2 to 4 years to make. Hobie's animated Spider-Punk, They said that took like 2 years to animate.
I heard it was different than everybody else's. Stood out.
Yeah, it was way different. And then the chase scene with all the Spider-Mans took 4 years.
4
To
years,
make.
bro.
4.
Can you imagine working on one thing for that long?
Dog, they was in that mug slaving. That was worse than the anime. That's worse than the anime animators. They was in that boy slaving for 4 years working on the same thing to perfect it, bro. That is. Can you imagine if they took 4 years to animate an anime?
Better be as amazing as that movie was.
What they do?
But no, it definitely was really good seeing all the different animation styles, because I think that's one thing too that sets this movie apart from a lot of other movies, is that they have to account that there's different Spider-Mans from different universes. And they account for that by making sure that each one looks differently animated.
Facts.
Which is crazy because it's like, how do you do that, bro?
Yeah. They had real live action in there too.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's another thing too, is they had live action people along with the animated. Like, that's crazy. But this animation was definitely a 10 out of 10. Do y'all feel like it was better than some of the animes we done watched?
In terms of what?
Just animation. Like, comparing it, obviously Demon Slayer is one of the well-known animated, I guess, like animes. Would you say it's like,
if you watch episode 1 of Demon Slayer season 3, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. You saw that animation. That was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous.
But I mean, the animation of this movie, though,
it was good. It was good, but
not the same.
It's not the same, bro. It stood out. It was on a different level. I'm not saying I'm not knocking down the anime. It was excellent for the movie, but it's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I do say we'll beat most of the anime out for animation.
And I think too, it was just the animation, and then I think, Luke, you said this earlier with like the soundtrack, which is weird. I don't know why I listened to the soundtrack before going to go see the movie.
Not even just the soundtrack, the OSTs too, for each character and like situations. Oh yeah, perfect.
Those hit perfectly, and that sound, bro. At the end, just having all that big suspenseful music just build up, and then you just hear Colin, that slow, just calming melody just come in with Sway Lee vocals. Like, what, bro? How are y'all just gonna dump this, and then we're gonna jump right into that? Like, that's crazy. But I know we sent this in the group chat, but what's y'all favorite songs off the soundtrack, bro?
I really like. Go ahead.
Swat Lee, bro. I don't know. It's something about him and Spider-Man, Spider-Verse. It goes together because every single song he made was a banger. Annihilate, bro. Calling. I think that one might be my favorite. I can't lie to you. But I also, I mean, bro, it's hard. Like Self-Love, really good. All the Way Live. I like that. Hummingbird, the little switch up.
Yeah, speaking of Hummingbird, I'll say that one stood out to me. Like I never heard of what's his name, James Blake, before this year.
Oh, like, bro,
he nice.
Blake he is nice. James Blake is nice. He I don't know if you've what's one of his well-known songs? He has a song that's pretty well known that he's done with like various other artists. And
I heard one with Travis Scott, Mile High. That go crazy.
Yeah. But no, I definitely would say I Am Dreaming, Calling, and Self-Love got to be my top 3 off of this album. So, bro, Self-Love and just like Coi Leray, bro. Who listens to Coi Leray for real? Who listens to Coi? This album got us listening to Coi Leray. Just made her vocals just sound.
Bro, sounds amazing, bro.
Coi Leroy, boy.
Shoot, I don't know how to say her name.
No. You said it right.
Okay.
I'm just cracking jokes.
But no, bro, the soundtrack, Metro Boomin, man, Metro Boomin. Is he the greatest producer out right now?
Yo, he up there.
Definitely up there. He been on top for a while too.
Would you put him as a GOAT? Greatest of all time?
He's got the potential to get there. I think he's still got a lot left in him, though. That's the thing.
He's got a lot.
And I think this shows
his potential, his versatility. Yeah. That's what you're looking for right there. Shows his versatility.
Dude, you got to think they made this every single song in there. There is no cussing. Like that's a song anyone can listen to and enjoy.
Bro,
anyone.
And what's crazy too, I don't know how the making of soundtracks like work. Whether like these artists, these producers know what's going to be happening in these movies, or like they tell them like we need a song that fits like this, or we need a song for like this. But every single song on this album fit perfectly with the theme and all of the aspects within this movie. And it's wild when you actually go and like listen to every single song and then think about moments that happened in the movie, and it's like, dang, this junk like actually like hit. And then they put the little snippets from the characters in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the one that's the hardest is what is it? I think it's Giving Up. Yeah, Giving Up, where they got Miguel in the beginning of it.
Oh, talking.
He kind of like like talking. That transition right there, that was hard in the beginning. I am not gonna lie. But who do y'all feel like? Obviously, we know we're getting Beyond the Spider-Verse. Who should Metro Boomin do Beyond the Spider-Verse, since this is kind of like a part 1, part 2 situation? Or do y'all think they might bring in somebody new?
Who did the first one? Or was that like not just specifically one person? Was that like a?
I don't know.
I have no idea who it was.
I don't think it was. Yeah, it was just various artists.
I think you yeah, give him another chance. That's what I say. But I don't know. Maybe you want someone different in there. I'd understand that at the same time. It's just good luck following up with that.
Facts.
I think he hit. He delivered, bro. He delivered. That soundtrack is a 10 out of 10. Like there's no skips for real. I mean, you'll probably definitely have the songs you don't really mess with a lot, but like they still good. The soundtrack definitely fit well with the movie. I don't know, man. Let's just dive a little bit into this. Get into the movie now, and let's kind of just start with the main focal here. Let's just start with Miles. What did we think of Miles in this movie?
Definitely developed, definitely matured. I'm liking where his character's going.
Yeah, he's a lot of character development because it's hard to have that big secret. Can't tell no one. Fighting with his parents, just seeing him. You know, I always love seeing the character development. You see it throughout. Kind of matures.
No, I definitely like seeing Miles in this one. It actually kind of, a lot of things was pointed out that like I didn't really notice from the first one. Like I didn't really realize that he was kind of short in the first one and kind of like grew in the second one, and that's been kind of like a couple of years after the first one.
Well, he grew because of the spider bite too in the first one. They highlighted that in one of the parts.
Yeah, and then also too, I just think is one of those things where I don't know. It's just kind of nice seeing him just grow.
He's more confident.
Yeah,
he's figuring out who he wants to be, what he's trying to do. That's all I see. He's figuring out himself.
And two, Miles had one of the hardest lines in this movie that will be captioned everywhere on Instagram, bro. Talking about, I'm tired of everyone telling me what I can and can't do. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. That line right there was so hard, bro. That line right there was so hard. Miles in this literally battling everybody, not just the other Spider-Man, but also having to battle and deal with like, his parents as well, whether he wants to tell them or not, and how they're gonna respond to it. So
He's going against literally everybody, man.
Literally everybody. Miles, it was Miles against everybody in this movie.
Crazy, bro.
And then also too, we kind of see a little bit of his upgrades. The suit's a little bit upgraded. Also the powers, which I don't really. Do those come from the comics?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think it's also nice too how they kind of seems like they paralleled it with a little bit of like the video game as well, with just like some of the stuff that he can do. So I don't know. I think seeing Miles in this one was really good. We got to see a different Miles than the first time. But I think one of those things that Miles was struggling with was, not being able to see his boo. Well, his situationship he got going on with Gwen Stacy. And I liked how this movie opened up with Gwen Stacy and kind of showed us a little bit more of her story in the beginning, and kind of like her type, like it was her perspective of things. But also too, I think Gwen Stacy kind of went through a lot in this too, and had a lot of character development, just with like the beginning and everything. But
yeah, betraying your friend is. We love to do that, don't we, gentlemen?
Well, I mean, it was betrayal, but like, it's one of those things where she kind of got put in that get put tough in a you get put into a tough situation.
And what side did she decide to choose? Whether she switched or not. Where did she switch to? Where did she go? All right, there we go.
But I mean, in that situation though, she didn't have nowhere to go.
Thought you had my back. Thought you cared about me. I thought we had a little thing. I thought we had a connection. You do this to me?
Psych.
For months?
But you also got to think too, that came after her basically being kicked out by her dad.
That was...
Because her dad thought, the whole time Spider-Woman, whatever, killed Peter Parker. And then he finds out that she's the one that's been running around in the suit, and he was still going to arrest her.
Bro,
like that's crazy. Like he wanted her dead.
Why did he not? Like, what did Superman do so wrong to him? That's what I was confused by. Why don't the city like him? That shit crazy.
Like who?
You said who?
Like the police. Like I felt like they didn't like Spider-Man. Like they said they wanted to arrest him. That's what I'm saying.
Spider-Man was Spider-Woman.
Yeah, Spider-Woman. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Because she killed Peter Parker. That's why. Yeah. What they thought.
But that was the story. That's what he thought.
But you don't believe your daughter? That's wild.
That's true.
It is crazy. But then that kind of goes back to why she got put in that tough spot of. Do I tell Miles? But if I tell Miles, then I'm kicked out of this Spider Society. She don't have nowhere to go for real. But then it's also on the same side, she keep it a secret for as long as she can. Miles don't find out. But as we know, truth will always reveal itself.
Big facts.
But I do kind of like Gwen Stacy in this because we kind of see a little bit of her universe and kind of like the colors and the themes of everything that was, I guess, kind of involved with her world. A little bit watercolory. We kind of see like bright and dark colors. Another good animation piece with this was anytime she like interacted with somebody, it kind of like brightened up the room. So it was a lot of bright colors instead of it being kind of dark. But, and then too, she out here messing around with Hobie, aka Spider Punk.
Fool.
Man, what did we think of Spider Punk as a character, his role in this movie?
He was cool. He was real. He's what a friend should have been. He should what a Gwen Stacy should have been from the start.
Yeah, he kind of had that rebel to him too, which he stayed
right. He got the rebel, stayed true to himself. So, no matter what.
I kind of liked his animation too. It was like, I don't know, almost like
it was personal.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah,
it was only for him. Like he was the only one that was like that. It's like it was different. He's different from everybody, and his animation was different from everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And two, I don't know if y'all know, but the dude from Nope and Get Out, and he also played. I can't remember who he played in Black Panther. Yeah, that's the voice of the Spider Punk.
What is his name? Daniel something? Is that?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce whatever his last name is. But no, he voiced Spider Punk. And two, I didn't even like with his voice acting. I couldn't even tell that it was like him. Like he did a really good job of his voice acting and everything. And I think that's one thing that I feel like not a lot of people take into consideration or even like think of is like voice acting is hard because you have to portray those emotions and like portray what they're physically doing in those scenes
with your voice alone.
Like with your voice, literally with your voice. But Spider Punk was really cool. Like y'all said, had really dope animation. He was a little bit more darker tone than a lot of the other characters.
What do you mean by
that? Just like in his color compared to everybody else being more of a brighter color. He's a little bit more darker. Also, too, created the watch for Gwen Stacy so she can go pick everybody else up towards the end of the movie. But no, he was really cool. I would love to see more of his character. I guess just like in a spinoff or something, or just like even in like a mini short where we kind of see a little bit more about him. But Spider Punk was really cool. And his animation took a really long time because I think they said something that I was watching. They said that like he had to be at like a different frame rate than the other characters because of like the way he was, where it was kind of like scrapbookish, where they kind of took like different pieces from like a magazine to like kind of like make his animation to like make it stand out. So, and two, that man really helped Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? Helped Miles, told him to use his palms, not just his fingertips.
Good friend.
But that was and two, he was the only one that was helping Miles.
Yeah, the only one that did anything for him, bro. It's crazy.
You muted, bro.
The only one that helped Miles from the start, just to clarify, from the start.
Yeah, because he was helping Miles and what was that Spider-Verse with the Indian spider?
Yeah, Spider-Man India.
What was it?
I don't remember the name. Nope. No, sir. I'm not even going to try.
It was like Manhattan and...
Hey, we know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, like Manhattan, but something like that. But also, too, that
was a cool part. I enjoyed that. That was good.
That was a cool version of Spider-Man. And two, I liked how they animated the city, where like they made it look like Manhattan, like they made it look like New York. But then, like as we dove deeper, it like got deeper. Like there was just more to the city, and it kind of like went down. Because at first, like looking at it, when you see it, you're like, oh, okay, like. They're just gonna get closer. There's gonna be a city, buildings, and everything, like ground. But nah, it was just more to it. It was a lot deeper. But that Spider-Man was voiced by the taxi driver from Deadpool 2.
All of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. Which is crazy because I didn't even recognize that it was him. Like, and when I found that out, I was like, that's so crazy. Because you envision like this little scrawny little Indian taxi driver dude who was like super just funny or whatever in Deadpool 2. You know what I mean, bro?
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean, bro.
I just assumed that he's a skinny Indian guy, huh?
Come on, bro. We saw him physically in Deadpool 2. You know what I mean. But however, with that being said, his character was cool, really cool. And also, how is he Spider-Man? He hasn't gone through any struggles.
Right, she talking about I wake up, I don't work out because I'm already ripped, bro. What? Don't got to do nothing to his hair.
Man, Spider-Man, it's easy.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be his part.
What?
In no way. He do got it too good. Especially later in the movie. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you do it.
No, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that just leads into canon events. And his canon event in that world. And like he was supposed to experience that the sudden tragedy of was his girl and his it was his girl, right? She was gonna die and then the cop
it was kind of like the Spider-Man Toby scene where it was his girl's dad, so it was like the police, he was like a police chief or whatever, and then it was like a bus of people that he was like trying to save.
Yeah, and then
it was his girl. It was either his girl because his girl was his girl was on the bus, and then her dad was
that's what it was. Yeah,
it is diving into the canon events and stuff like of how certain things are supposed to happen. Now, with that being said, I got some stuff. I can go deep. You feel me?
Go ahead, bro. Talk your talk, bro.
So canon events, stuff like that. We learned that Miles is the first anomaly to exist due to the spider that was not supposed to be in his universe, right? So now, if he's the first anomaly, I think that the rules don't necessarily work the same way with him. You know what I'm saying? I think that he was supposed to save. He was supposed to be there. He was supposed to save the girl and the dad in this world because it happened. It's not like because it happened. It happened because it was supposed to happen. But you don't think it's supposed to happen because on their perspective, it's wrong. You're not from that universe. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to let that happen.
But also, too, there's a thing where, I kind of have a thing with this too, because with them like saying canon events or whatever, and you look at certain stuff, that spider that came from a different universe was supposed to bite Miles, and it was shown in I can't remember what it was. It might have been like the flashbacks or whatever. And in that flashback, they showed that Miles from Earth 42. And the spider was on the desk walking towards Miles with like the dreads and everything. And it was about to bite Miles, but then it got sucked in to the, what is it, Earth's 1610?
Yeah, something
that
like that.
Miles is on? Yeah. So it got sucked into that Earth and it bit Miles. Now, I don't think that was a coincidence that happened, because either way it go, there was going to be a Miles Morales Spider-Man.
It had to happen.
Going off of what you said, it is a little tricky, because if Miles wasn't there, then that bridge and everything like that wouldn't have been like collapsing or whatever, and they both would have been safe. So in a way, like what you said, I get that. Do kind of make sense that like it had to happen. Like it goes back to what you said. Like no.
Let me go. Hold on. Let me build off of that right quick. Let's say that Miles didn't go to that dimension. Miles didn't create Spot, right? What would have killed the girl and the dad?
It would have just had to have been like a villain. It would have just had to, like, I guess, naturally happen, like how with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
That's what we think, though. But I'm pretty sure what happened was supposed to happen, and it happened that way. That's just what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying?
True. But it's kind of tough because then if we go into Miguel O'Hara, who, he's the Spider 2099 from the future, and we go into kind of like his reasonings of everything, and we look at it of where like, some of these certain things, like, they have to happen.
It's like, bro,
in a way, it kind of makes sense when you look at all of the Spider-Mans and everything that they've had to like go through. But then there was one thing that happened in this movie that kind of made me, and I think they did this for a reason, is Gwen Stacy's dad usually like dies or Gwen Stacy dies. And in this, her dad is like a police chief or whatever, but then we see that he ended up quitting and not being a police chief. So now it's like, if anything was supposed to happen to him, it's not going to happen because, you know what I mean? Like, it changed the canon.
Think about this, though. Was that going to be the canon event, or was Peter dying the canon event? Was Miles' dad dying going to be the canon event, or was his uncle dying already the canon event? You know what I'm saying? Like,
true.
Is he really stopping? Is he really? You know what I'm saying? Is he really stopping or creating the universe exploding by trying to save his dad? Is that actually, like, how do they know it's his dad who has to die for him to not for everything to go smoothly? It's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying?
And two, I think it's crazy when you look at it, kind of like going into the MCU. And I know we kind of always harp on this and we always get on Star-Lord about this, but what if him talking and them not taking the gauntlet off Thanos right there? What if that wasn't a canon event that was supposed to happen?
No, so that's the thing. That's exactly what it was.
That's like, it's crazy.
It was supposed to go that way because that was the one way that Doctor Strange, he had to. He knew. He already knew. That's why he didn't try to fight or anything. Doctor Strange already knew. He let everything play out like it was supposed to play out.
Facts.
Thanos was not supposed to get the gauntlet taken away from him at that time. Star-Lord was supposed to get angry and mess it up. It was supposed to go like that so it could end the way it did.
Yeah, so imagine if they did get it off, though. Like, the world would have technically ended then, right? It wouldn't have went the right way.
It would have, yeah.
I know that I said there wasn't one bad thing I've heard about this movie, but there is one gripe that I have with the MCU and Sony, is that they don't line up with the terminology that they use. Because technically, a canon event is basically like a Nexus event. It's something that's like supposed to happen. Like, we've heard Nexus events, and I think Loki with the TVA and everything like that, which is a whole different thing. But I just wish that they would keep terminology the same, because then it's like, it's going to get to a point where it's going to be confusing.
Okay, I want to say something real quick. You know how they brought like the live action characters into the movie? I actually thought they were going to bring Miles into the Spider-Man movie, the No Way Home. I thought he was going to bring like the animated. That's what I was imagining before. I was going to throw this in there. I thought that was going to happen in that movie, but it kind of reversed it and happened in this one, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. Like, especially the Prowler.
I think too, and it's just tough because it's like, you look at everything that's happening and it's like, well, I feel like, in a way, I feel like there are certain events that are supposed to happen, and there are certain events that could be avoided. Like, and there's certain things that just, like, they just happen unfortunately. Like, it just had unfortunately happened. And I think one of those things, and this is kind of where, Miguel, this is where we kind of see like his perspective of everything, and we'll kind of get into him a little bit more too. But I think about when they were in the room, they were showing all the different like events that have happened, and they showed like Andrew Garfield, and Gwen Stacy kind of brought this up later when she was sitting with Miles, saying, in any other universe, Gwen Stacy falls in love with Peter Parker, and something happens to her. Oh, Spider-Man, yes. Spider-Man, and something happens to her. Now, looking at that, unfortunately, like Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, he did try to save Gwen Stacy. Now, did he do it the right way? No, because he broke her back. but
He
like,
wasn't in time.
Yeah, he just wasn't there. But then also I was seeing is that people were speculating and No Way Home was Andrew Garfield supposed to save MJ in that movie, because was that supposed to be another loss that Tom Holland Spider-Man was supposed to have? Because we see him kind of save MJ, and in that moment it's kind of, that callback to him not being able to save Gwen Stacy. So it was like, was that a canon event for him? Or was it him interrupting the canon event for Tom Holland Spider-Man?
But who's to say? All right, look. Who's to say that anything is anything, bro? Who's to say that Miguel wasn't supposed to destroy his universe, and then create the Spider Society, and we're all happening, all this. Well, everything's happening because it's supposed to happen. This is what I'm seeing.
But like,
even though you don't,
is it though? We won't know, and I feel like eventually they'll kind of give us an answer.
We're just throwing thoughts out there.
Kind of clarify it. Yeah, and they'll kind of clarify it, I feel like, at some point. But speaking of Miguel, we got Miguel O'Hara, voice acted by none other than Oscar Isaac. This man, Oscar Isaac, is going nuts when it comes to Marvel characters. Played Moon Knight, played Apocalypse, and the X-Men.
I forgot he played Apocalypse.
And then now playing Miguel O'Hara, 2099 Spider-Man. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even really hear Oscar Isaac and his voice acting.
I heard him talking the whole time. I was like, this is a voice I know, but I couldn't put my finger on who it was.
I heard it.
Like, it was certain stuff he would say that you could hear it a little bit, but like, other than that, I just saw it as like this whole new character. Like, it's just Miguel O'Hara. Like, this is who he is.
That's good. That's good voice acting there. That's how you saw it.
And that's just kind of like compared to like Gwen Stacy, where like we know, like, first of all, I didn't even know it was Haley Steinfeld until in the first one. Like, I didn't know that was Haley Steinfeld in the first one until like she started doing Hawkeye, and they like pointed it out. But like, there were certain times when she was talking where like I think because I knew it was her, I focused on it and listened to it, tried listening to it more.
All I saw was Gwen Stacy. Was Gwen Stacy.
I think there's certain stuff that she says where you can hear, where she's like, "Welcome to the Spider Society," and it really kind of high pitch. You can hear that is her voice. But anyways, with the Miguel O'Hara, I'm not gonna lie, his suit is really dope. But it also raises a question of,
speaking of the suit, I want to say something real quick. I never noticed. So, like, how it's like a skull.
Yeah.
But it's a spider that looks like a skull. I never noticed it was a spider. I don't know why that never clicked in my head that it was a spider in the shape of a skull, but it is, and that's hard. That is hard. I do like that.
But one thing that kind of got pointed out, and even Miles said this, is that this man has claws and like fangs.
Correct.
Is he really Spider-Man, bro?
So with him, he actually did not get a spider did not bite him. His DNA is fused with spider DNA, so he has different abilities.
Oh, that's kind of dope, though.
So he has fangs, he has claws. He doesn't have spider sense, or he's not supposed to have spider sense. But I think they put it in the movie. But the thing is, what I like about it, they put it on a little twist, which is cool. It all works out. You saw it at the beginning of the movie when he's finna suck Buddy's blood.
Yeah. I want a backstory on him too.
Also, he's sensitive to light, so he wears his mask. So when a helicopter came, that's why his mask came back on.
That's so crazy. Like,
hold on. Their detail in this movie is ridiculous. It's actually insane. Their detail is insane.
Bro, it's actually crazy. Like, looking at the various different Spider-Mans there were, and how they put detail into all of them.
Yeah.
Like there was a T-Rex Spider-Man. We had Spider-Pig. We had like a Britain Spider-Woman. We had
Ben
like
Riley,
Spider-Woman. Yeah, like like it was crazy.
He was funny.
And two, they even gave Metro Boomin his own Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, they did.
He was the one that came down and was like, "We got him, guys. There's nowhere for him to run." And he was like, "Never mind, guys. I guess there was somewhere for him to run." Like that was a funny moment.
Perfect. Bro, they did their comedy really well. Like especially in the Spider Society, all the funny parts in that were funny. I really like the part when they're the Spider-Man doing a little counseling. Everybody's chasing Miles. He's like, "So what happened?" Let me guess, he died. And it's like, bro, it's like they all can connect on that level to make a joke like that. I just feel like they did a good job.
Know the one thing that I just hate it because it's getting so overplayed and we've seen it happen so many time again is the Spider-Man meme, bro. Like, let's move past it. Like, we get it. We know the Spider-Man meme. Like,
but it was funny still.
I thought it was funny.
Spider-Man, they're all like, huh, you? Like, are you all idiots? You all are freaking idiots.
But then that was the thing, though, too, is that, like, in that moment, even though it was something that I was like, Spider-Man meme, it still fit perfectly. And it was funny because it was like y'all said, they were all Spider-Man and he didn't specify that, like, Miles Spider-Man, you know? And then it was funny too, because then the one dude came to the door and they were like, "Who, me?" He's like, "Who, me?" And they like turned around. Or no, he said something like, "There's web on my face," or like, "Does he have web on his face?" or something. What did he mean by that?
What did you just come back from doing, brother?
What do you mean by that? But no, then, you know, Miles is on his back. And that was just like, I don't know, there was just a lot of funny moments like that really fit into the movie really well. But we got Miguel, who...
Oh, you mean Rio Morales? Oh, come on. I'll talk about the mama, you feel me? About her ass, but what did she bring to the table in this movie?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Speak on it.
She brought a lot of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Trying to like just figure out her son, just trying to put that knowledge in to make sure you're making the right choices. I don't know. She wasn't really feeling Gwen when she popped up. Neither of the parents were. It's kind of funny.
But no, hold on though. That's another thing. Is that's kind of like real life.
I know.
If we want to be real, like that's kind of like real life, bro. Like that's relatable. Like that's something that would happen in real life. And then another thing too. Shout out to Afro Anime, because I can't remember who pointed this out, but they were saying like when they were in the office or whatever with the counselor or whatever, and the counselor was like, "Oh, I can see it already," you know, sending like stories to colleges and stuff about being from a struggling home or whatever, and then the dad was like, "I don't know about struggling."
Yeah, that's it. You know? Hey, the dad was hilarious, bro. But he had me rolling.
But it's just like, you can relate to that, bro, because any one of our dads would say that stuff. Like, I don't know about you know, we get by, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like that other aspect to it where it's just another thing of being able to relate. You know, there's a lot of relatable stuff within this movie. And with that being said, going back to watching that Stan Lee documentary that's on Disney Plus, that is one thing that Stan Lee said, is that all the characters they try to make them relatable. And
that goes back to like the X-Men thing I was talking about, how these based off of black people during that time.
Yeah. And two is just like seeing Spider-Man is just someone that's really relatable. Like even just looking at Miles Morales Spider-Man. This is kind of a question that I had later down the road, but we can kind of go to it now, is who do you think will be more well known as Spider-Man, Miles or Peter Parker? Because if you look at it, Miles is kind of blowing up right now and getting a lot of FaceTime.
You talking about like realistically or like in our world?
Just like in our world, like kids growing up, like even adults, like. Because I mean, if Miles eventually gets a live action, you know,
I hear you, but I still think it's going to still be Peter Parker. They're going to put him in that leadership role, that mentor role, if that does happen. So it's gonna be kind of like a Tony Stark Spider-Man type of deal, but like Spider-Man and Spider-Man, like a veteran Spider-Man with the younger. Well, I wouldn't even, would you call him veteran? He got some stripes. He got some stripes. He got a few stripes. You know what I'm saying? He fought Thanos. Hey, I want that on my resume. You know what I'm saying? Fought Thanos. Yeah, cool. I'll take that. Let's hire that guy.
He still ain't done nothing on his own yet.
That's true.
We gotta see him do something on his own.
That's true. Now, if you go back to like a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, that boy was.
That's a Spider-Man right there. he went through it.
Going through it, bro. He was, all by himself, making it happen, getting dropped, getting back up. Don't matter,
bro. Every single time we bring up Tobey Spider-Man, bro, you pointed this out to me. I can never not think about the scene of Green Goblin busting through the house, bro. With Aunt May.
Delirious! Oh, finish it! Oh, those horrible yellow eyes. Yeah, bro. Good. Those are some. That's nostalgia. Grew up with that, man. It's gonna have a special place in my heart at all times. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think, Luke? Who do you think gonna be going forward? Who do you think will become more popular? Do you think?
I could definitely see his popularity growing and it becoming more even, but I still think it will always be Peter Parker, the original.
Peter Parker. Peter Parker is Spider-Man, man. He's Spider-Man.
But that's the thing is like Miles is so relatable though. Like I feel like you can relate to Miles more than you can relate to Peter Parker.
Depends who you are saying that though. You know?
I mean, I feel like we've seen that more too. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It'll be interesting. You know,
we'll
he already got his own video game.
Yeah.
You know, the second Spider-Man video game that's coming out, and we already know they are planning on doing a live action. You know, he gonna get his own live action movie.
I'm interested who they choose.
That's gonna be kind of weird though, bro. It's not like Rhodey got his own movie. I mean, you feel me? It's like you got Iron Man, War Machine. Well, I mean, Rhodey not as popular as Miles Morales, but still, it's like you got Spider-Man and you got another Spider-Man, same universe. You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting.
Yeah, we'll touch on that. I just want to get and talk about the Spot real quick before we kind of go into that direction. The Spot, from what I've been hearing and seeing in the comics, this man is literally like a joke.
Average.
Like he is literally
below average.
The lowest villains of villains when it comes to Spider-Man villains. But in this movie, they made this man like they upgraded this man and made him a lot
broken.
More
fear,
just fear driven. But the one thing I do think, and this is tough, I feel like maybe in the second one they'll do this more, is I feel like he didn't get a lot of screen time. Like he got a lot of screen time like as a Spot, like the weak version of himself in the beginning half of that movie. But in that second half, we didn't really see a lot of him, and it was more about Miguel.
That was on purpose though.
Which kind of brings up who is the real villain in this movie?
Or antagonist.
Is it
antagonist?
Is it Miguel or is it the Spot? Or is it both of them?
I say it's in a way both, but I think
overall, go ahead.
Go ahead, Luke.
Overall, over the whole like part 1, part 2, I think it will be the Spot. But like there's like that inner conflict that they had within this movie. I mean, we'll see it continuing in the part 2, but I think the overall main villain by the time it's all said and done will be the Spot.
I agree. Because at the end of the day, they are Spider-Man. And, however, Spot is going to kill Miles' dad. Miguel is trying to let him kill his dad. Oh, we saw the future.
Right.
Remember he got his powers?
Okay.
They showed him
one future out of many futures, though.
He showed him his supposed future.
But the one that's supposed to happen.
Right.
Right? Or is it not? Like...
That's the thing, man.
Yeah.
if Miguel and them stop him, yes, that's supposed to happen. But that's why Miles is fighting. He's the first anomaly. He might have yeah. No, he is.
That's another thing. Is. But that's another thing too, though. Is wouldn't Gwen Stacy's Spider-Woman kind of be like an anomaly?
In terms of what?
In terms of like in all these other universes or whatever, Gwen Stacy falls for Spider-Man and is the lover of Spider-Man. Now she's Spider-Man. I
hear you.
Wouldn't that make her
when they say anomaly, they mean okay. So everything that happened in every other Spider-Man's universe happened in their own universe. We have an entire spider coming from another universe. This is not supposed to happen. Universes are not supposed to necessarily cross with other universes. That spider's supposed to be there, but it came over here, bit Miles. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's the first anomaly. That's the anomaly. The spider started.
Spot started. An anomaly though, because Spot brought him over.
According to Miguel's rules,
that was supposed to happen.
Right, according to Miguel's rules, like of how he sees things, that is the original anomaly.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And they were telling us that junk from the start, right? It was glitching. We learned in the first movie that if you're not a part of that universe, that you're going to glitch.
And that's another thing too. Is in this movie they had a lot of callbacks and cameos to not just Spider-Man that we've known and seen, but also just like to the first movie as well. Like the donut throwing back, just the whole glitching, the whole thing with, Miles and his uncle. And then even, I think one big thing that we've just heard is them kind of reference to MCU events of
No Way Home.
No Way Home, which brings up a question of
why didn't Miguel pull up in No Way Home?
No. What I think a reason why he might have not done that is because of Doctor Strange being there, possibly, and Doctor Strange was going to fix everything. But with that being said, what Earth is the MCU? Because Miguel references it as Earth 199999 or whatever, but then in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, it's been referenced as Earth 616.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be a question that they're going to have to clarify.
It's either a mistake or they got something planned, but I don't know.
Because those are two different Earths. Because if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure 616 is the comic book, is what the comic book Earths are.
Yeah, the 616 is the main comic book universe. So, like, that's what I like about this, bro. All right, so you got multiverse in the comics, right? Mm-hmm. Then you got multiverse. Like, the multiverse, you can make it anything. Like, we're a part of the multiverse. The movies that we make are a part of the multiverse. It's a whole nother universe within the already made multiverse. You know what I'm saying? We just got put in there. So, like, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man world, he has a different number. Andrew Garfield has a different number. And then Tom Holland's, they all have different numbers, all in the same multiverse, though. Like, you didn't plan this all the way back in 2001, but it works out. Like, wow. It's like the way they connected it.
Yeah. And that's my other thing is going to Tom Holland Spider-Man and Homecoming. We see Donald Glover, who I can't remember exactly what he was doing in that movie, but he gets webbed to the car.
He was trying to get weapons.
Yep. And then we know that he was trying to keep the weapons out of the street because he has a nephew named Miles that lives there. And we know that they didn't include a scene in that movie that was deleted where he actually called Miles. And then in this, we get Donald Glover, live action, in the Prowler suit. And it's like, what universe does he belong to? Because if he is in the MCU, then that means Miles is somewhere out there. And Jamie Foxx's Electro pointed it out as well, saying
It's got to be a Black Spider-Man.
So it's like, got to be a Black Spider-Man.
But where's the spider gonna come from, bro? They gonna have to create a whole different type of.
It's gonna come from Earth. It's gonna come from Earth 42. It's gonna have to.
It's dead.
No. Well, if we're talking about live action,
I'm talking about live action.
It's not dead.
That's a new brand. That's a completely different Miles, bro. It's not the Miles we got. It's not the Miles in the game. It's a completely different Miles in a different universe.
But that's the thing, is that 42 is kind of the number for Miles. So if we see a Miles in the MCU, he's going to have to get bitten by a spider with the number 42 on it from Earth 42. And that's just going to be our Miles, whether he's from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Verse or if he's from the Tom Holland Spider-Verse. It's going to either be one of those two. It's going to have to be.
All right, so let me tell you this.
If Electro referenced it, then it's just like, it's just tough.
Let me say, in the comics, let me just give you like some groundwork, some ideas that you can work with. In the comics, Miles Morales gets a spider because Norman Osborn was trying to. All right, so Norman Osborn made the spider. Oscorp made the spider that made Spider-Man, correct? Yes, that's what happened. And he was trying to redo it. Spider-Man was his greatest creation. He was trying to recreate Spider-Man. He did more experience with spiders, and that spider got it to Miles and gave him all the extra powers and stuff like that. That's what happened. So, I mean, that could be the way that they might go about doing it that way.
And we haven't really seen Oscorp.
That's true.
Show up yet. So
that is true. They got that they can play with.
It's a lot of stuff that they can do, but I think us seeing Donald Glover, one is just a callback because he kind of set this whole Miles Morales Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse and everything up.
Facts. The character in general, actually.
And also, too, is just kind of them acknowledging, like, hey, we had him in Homecoming, bring him back again, throw him in there, get everybody excited. I'm super excited to see what they're going to do with a live action Miles and how they're going to take it. Because that's just going to be very, very interesting to see. And kind of, I guess, with that being said, with this movie and everything, there was a lot in this movie with it being 2 hours long, but it did not feel like it was 2 hours long.
Facts.
Like, I was sitting there watching, I'm like, oh, shoot, this is good. I looked at my watch, I'm like, hold on, I've been in here for about 2 hours now. This movie gotta wrap up at some point.
Speaking of that, let's move on to the end, bro. It's like just like how Miles got. So I will say, when I first watched the movie, I did notice that I just said 42, and I remember it wasn't the same thing. But when he got to this world and he was talking I didn't notice like people were noticing like the coat color, the colors of certain things, stuff like that. Like it's different. It was like purple and green instead of being red and blue.
Hold on, bro. Before you continue, that's where that little kid started fucking talking, bro. He was like, "Oh, that's not his universe," because he just started. I'm like, bro, shut up! I'm trying to watch the movie, and I think I wasn't able to notice that stuff because he was talking. So I was so focused on his voice, I wasn't paying attention that like stuff looks different. And like I missed that, like it was like the Sinister Six was running the Earth 42 or whatever, and everything was going on. And it's just like, bro, that little kid really.
When he got there, and then his mom was like, "Oh, you changed your hair?" I'm like, "Huh?"
And I missed that because he was talking, bro.
Like, what you mean by that? So I'm thinking like maybe his mask like messed his hair up or something. I was just thinking it's gonna be like braided back. I didn't know it's gonna be like a cold, completely different Miles. You know what I'm saying?
And it goes back to like that drawing that they showed of Miles with his hair braided, and I didn't even notice. Like I didn't even pay too much attention to that until like I went on TikTok and I saw a video, and it was like they showed it, and I was like, oh shoot, I didn't even notice that. And like that's wild. It was like a foreshadow to kind of towards the end.
You talk about foreshadow. The first movie when Miles and Peter first met, and the Spidey sense connected.
Yeah,
Miles's Spidey sense was purple and green, and then it switched to blue and red as it because he was supposed to originally become the Prowler. They're supposed to switch. They're supposed to have switched lives, Our Miles' dad was supposed to die, and he was supposed to become Prowler, and 42 was supposed to become Spider-Man. That's kind of how it's supposed to be. Like, you just don't. That was nice. I like how they throw little details in that to like poke out, but
it's a lot of small details.
Yeah. But how you guys think? Like, what do you guys think is going to happen with this confrontation with the confrontation between the two Miles? Here's what I think. Let me just tell you my thoughts right quick. You know what I'm saying? They don't know who Spider-Man is. They don't know what Spider-Man is. They don't know what Spider-Man is capable of, especially Miles' Spider-Man. They're, you know what I'm saying? They got him locked up, chained up. He's using his like mentors, the other Spider-Man, Peter B. Parker from the first movie's tactic. Because remember, Miles had him chained up on a punching bag, just like
TikTok too. Yep.
Just like Miles is chained up now, and it's like I personally, I think they might end up working together. Bro, they're gonna fight at first, but I think they're gonna fight at first.
That fight scene,
we're gonna see what he's about.
It might be up there for greatest fight scene of all time, possibly, because I feel like they're gonna have to be boxing, bro. But I think this ending, first of all, I kind of spoiled myself for the ending because I saw something on TikTok and they were saying something like, but like at the time I didn't really think of it.
We don't go on TikTok the day before, or the day of, or the weekend of any movie we want to see,
bro. They said it was gonna be a cliffhanger of an ending, and in my mind I'm thinking like, oh, it's gonna be like an end credit scene or something that leaves it as like a cliffhanger. I wasn't expecting the ending of the movie to be a cliffhanger. Like it was the whole ending of the movie that was a cliffhanger, and then also too, with that, they were also saying, what if they ended it when Miles' uncle had punched the punching bag, and you thought he like actually punched Miles?
Oh yeah,
his head like bro. If they stopped it there, I would have been like, ain't no way they just ended this movie like that. I would have to fight somebody. Now we know that Miles is gonna be dead because they're doing Beyond the Spider-Verse. But I don't know, bro. Like this whole ending and everything, I think they will eventually work together. And I think they will prove that like what happened had to happen. Like you said, like I think they're gonna prove to Miguel that like it wasn't this weird anomaly event and that like what happened had to happen. And also too, a thing to point out is in this Earth 42, Prowler really isn't like bad. Prowler's just like
doing what needs to be done. Yeah, he's like a vigilante. Look, yeah, he's just that's what I'm saying. That's why I think they might have a little scuffle. You know what I'm saying? They might squabble a little bit, but at the end of the day, they're gonna try to go save the dad that's still alive. Because remember, he said, "Yeah, I gotta go save him. Our dad's in trouble." He said, "Your dad." But that's just to emphasize, like, I don't have my dad anymore. You have yours. I don't think he's gonna go try to replace him.
No,
that could happen. That could happen. But
that would be crazy.
I think he try to save him.
And that line too. He said, "Who are you?" Stepped into the light. I'm Miles Morales.
Yeah, I'm Miles Morales.
He had the little accent to it.
He had the little accent to it. He had that Morales. You know?
I studied my Spanish.
He said,
I got an A in Spanish. What you talking about? You got a B. I'm Miles Morales.
I think that was another good thing too, to kind of show like he was around his mom more, so he picked up that Spanish instead of having both his mom and dad. So I think that was another good thing that's, relatable. And two, he was just like, but you can call me the Prowler. You know what I'm saying? He switched it up. He still had that little accent in it, but he switched it up on him. But I think it was really good. That's kind of what I think gonna happen, or what I expect them to happen.
Yeah, I'm about on line with you guys, but at the same time, I don't have any expectations going into that movie besides to blow my mind again. Pause.
Facts. Now the question is, how you gonna beat Spot? He's pretty powerful.
They'll figure it.
When he was going to get when he got confident, he was going to get absorb the power of the whatever he was trying to absorb in the Indian place.
Oh,
the way he was using his powers, bro. Like that was just a little taste of what he could do. He was just like moving through the spots, doing everything perfectly, just confident. confidently beating everybody to get to his goal.
Yeah, he's gonna be leveled up next time we see him for sure.
That's crazy. But also too, I do have another kind of theory. And it kind of goes a little bit in hand with one of the soundtrack songs, Calling. If you listen to Calling, the lyrics in the Calling, it kind of mentions a lot about giving all of yourself to save like this person, whatever. And I think listening to that, you're like, oh, it's about Miles, giving his all, as being Spider-Man, giving himself to save, the people that he loved, trying to fix this universe. But I think it might be a little bit of a twist. I think it really might be about Gwen Stacy. And I think it might be about her giving all of herself because it talks about like falling in love, and everything. And I think that in a way it's going to be Gwen Stacy who's saving Miles. And I think the way she does that is literally by giving all of herself. And I think she might die. Because I feel like somebody in this Beyond the Spider-Verse movie, somebody's going to die. Like something tragic has to happen in order to be some type of, I don't want to say like solution, but like, I guess more of a resolution to everything. Because whether it's they're able to save his dad or not, somebody else is going to die in replace of that. And that's going to be this canon event, so to say, that's supposed to happen.
That's an interesting theory. You think something has to happen. I don't know, man. Well, I guess I wouldn't be surprised
against a powerful foe against a powerful foe like that, there's got to be some casualties. Let's be realistic here. There has to be.
And some people are theorizing that instead of the dad dying, it might be the mom dying, because I guess the mom does die in the comics.
Yeah.
So if they did that, that'd be a big twist.
Also in the comics, the way Uncle Era dies is different too. But I think the way that they took the route they took is working out pretty well for them. So
how's he dying in the comics?
Miles is fighting him, and like he messed up his one of his blasters on his wrist or something like that, and then it blew up on him, killed him.
Wow.
Like Miles trying to tell him stop, don't use it, don't do it, because it's gonna blow you up. So yeah, he died like that. Miles' dad absolutely hates superpower people, which is understandable. You walk outside and the Hawk throwing your car. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Him damages, all that. I do understand. I do feel for them. He hates all mutants and people with powers and stuff like that. And that's like kind of why Miles is trying to like hide the fact that he was Spider-Man from him. Because he didn't think his dad was going to accept him.
Yeah. And two, I think this movie might be one of the best comic book accurate type movies we've seen. Because not just because like the animation style and everything like that, but we actually see it say like to be continued, which happens in the comics. Like there's always continuation in the comics. Like this is that's why I feel like this like another aspect that adds to this movie of it being so good. Now the question is, we know that after Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to end the Miles Morales Spider-Verse or whatever, and there's been talks of seeing a live action Miles Morales movie. Now, do we want to see Miles Morales in live action? Do we feel like that's something that we need after getting Spider-Verse?
I don't think the question is what we need, right? We don't need a lot of things that Marvel's giving us, right? The question is, would it work? Would it bring more to the table than what we already have? I do. It's kind of the same thing, but think about it. 2 Spider-Man fighting together in live action. We already saw what 3 could do. Just imagine like that little partnership they would have. The combinations, the teamwork, the camaraderie.
It would be cool, but it's like with that though, it's like,
why not?
And this is kind of another question too. Is are we getting too much of Miles at one time? Because like we've already gotten to see Miles into the Spider-Verse, and then we got the Miles Morales Spider-Man game that Sony did, and then now Spider-Man 2 video games coming out, and Miles is in it, and we got Across the Spider-Verse. So it's like, and then we're gonna get Beyond the Spider-Verse, and then if they make a live action, it's like, I get it, they're all different versions of Miles, but it's like, what more can you do that we haven't already seen besides him teaming up with a Spider-Man? But we've kind of already seen him team up with a Spider-Man and animated. So it's like you said, like, is it something that brings value to the MCU? Like, is it something that we really need, or is it just more of popularity and everything right now and people just want to see it?
Well, he is needed. I will say that he is needed for just like personal reasons. I will say that, but it will be dope to see.
Yeah, it's.
You can't get too much of Spider-Man. Not in my opinion.
I agree. I'm down with it. I'd love like Dave was talking about too. I'd love to see like the combos they put in for them, kind of how they mesh. Learn about that story, how they end up articulating that will be interesting too.
You know what I like about Spider-Man, bro? His personality when it comes to talking to bad guy. He don't shut up, bro. He's annoying. He talks trash all the time, cracks jokes all the time. Both Miles and Peter. That's all Spider-Man actually. That's all they do. They're gonna crack jokes and beat you at the same time.
And it kind of goes earlier when they like first got to the Spider Society, and there was like, "Has anyone seen Spot?" And they made all the different like reference like dad type jokes about Spot. Like, haven't seen him over here. Like, he's not spotted over here. Like, they just kept going and like played on with it.
Yeah, bro. They're all on that same tempo. They don't shut up. They're annoying. that's what they're supposed to be. They get under the villain's skin.
Facts.
But it'll be interesting, man. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Miles going into the future, like going into making a live action. I know Shameik Moore has came out. That's who voices Miles. Even though listening to Sway Lee on the soundtrack sounded like he was Miles, which is absolutely crazy. But who would y'all want to see play a live action Miles? I don't want to see Shameik Moore. He's too old. I feel like him doing his voice acting, he got his shine as Miles.
That version
we
of
should
Miles,
see. Yeah, that version of Miles. So we should see someone else.
What age are we looking at?
I feel like
you just gotta look young. You can be old and look young.
He's gotta look young, but I don't think he has to be like young. I feel like he could be like.
He gotta be like
18,
Miles 16. is 3 years. Miles is 3 years younger than Peter Parker. So Peter Parker about to go to college. What's that around?
Middle of high
15,
school.
16?
18.
Yeah. So he's like 15, 16.
Yeah, so he should be around. Look at that around that age.
I saw on Twitter. I don't even know what the kid's name is, but
Miles from.
Yeah,
I know everybody's been saying Miles.
I
don't know what his last name is. Miles Brown. Is it Miles Brown? Yeah, Miles Brown.
I actually don't have a perfect cast for him.
Me neither. I mean,
I kind of like Miles Brown as the forefront person right now, just because I feel like he does kind of give that accurate comic book look, and two, he's also kind of came out and stated that he would love to play that role. I think if we wanted to go with a little bit older kind of version of a Spider-Man, if we are going to give Peter Parker, have him be in college, and we want to bring in Miles, have him be a little bit older, possibly like 17, 18, I think Jacob Latimore might be another person who could play Miles.
But think about it, though. Look at Tom Holland. How old does he look? Buddy, like 30 years old. You know what I'm saying?
No, Tom Holland, bro. Tom Holland's like 2-3 years older than us.
Same difference. We almost 30, bro.
No, we not, bro.
Don't say that, bro.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
My fault.
No, we are under 25. We still
like 28,
down,
bro.
My guy. Tom Holland? Shoot, since they're the same age as us, so Tom
27. He's 27. 27 is basically 30, bro.
Yeah, but he looked young.
Do you look young? You feel me?
Shoot, Zendaya 26. Zendaya. Now, if Miles ever meets her, no complaints over here.
No, that boy Miles want him some Gwen Stacy. You saw his notebook.
But that's another thing too. Is who would play a live action Gwen Stacy? Like, it can't be Haley Steinfeld, because if they were ever the crossover in a movie, she's already playing Kate Bishop. And that'd be way too much for her to be switching in and out of scenes and stuff.
I don't even think she would be a good.
Peyton List.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
That would be a perfect casting for Gwen Stacy.
I think the dimensions are a little bit bigger than what we're looking for.
What do you mean by that?
You know exactly what I mean, brother. The assets don't match up.
But that would be a good.
You're a fool, bro.
I feel like she's 25, so I feel like she could pull off a Gwen Stacy Spider Woman.
She still act? I haven't seen her in anything in a minute.
I think so. She probably just not in a lot of big stuff, you know, because they're already trying to get Sydney Sweeney to be Madam Web. Want to talk about comic book accurate and the dimensions? Dog. But let's just go ahead and wrap this up, man. What are y'all final thoughts? Any closing thoughts on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
Great movie, man. I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. Vibrant colors, great animation, great music, great story. It was just a very good movie. I really enjoyed it. That was a movie that I can say I enjoyed a lot. Like, I was excited. I wanted more immediately.
If there's one thing Sony does right, it's animated movies. Live action, they need to stop it. Live action movies are terrible. But I do like how they brought in the Venomverse. How Spot visit the one cashier lady in the Venomverse.
Who visited who?
Spot. He showed up in the Venomverse at that cashier lady. It was like 7 something. I saw that. I was like, it's Venom. At least they established an Earth number for Venom and everything.
Well, we already know we got the symbiote in the main universe, so we already know we're finna get soon.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We need some of that Black Spider-Man action.
What you mean? We got Black Spider-Man. But Miles in an actual symbiote suit? Talk. That would be crazy. But I think this movie was great. A lot of things you said, really good. Animation was really good. Soundtrack was really good. Definitely a movie that is rewatchable. Definitely just a movie that was just, there's just so much to it that, like, there's just so many good things that happen that, like, I would recommend this movie literally to anyone. Like, anybody, go see it. Like,
Yeah,
it's a great movie.
You will enjoy going to see this. But damn, yeah, Dave summed it up pretty much the best way it could be summed up. And then, yeah, bro, just the aspect of the soundtrack. Like I didn't listen to it after. Amari, you texted like Thursday, Friday. You said, "Oh, it's lit," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it is." I listened to it eventually. I listened to it a couple days later, and I'm like, I haven't stopped. It's been on repeat, bro. Since then, still
non-stop repeat. Like it's at the end of the year, it's probably gonna be up there. It's like my top 5 albums listened to.
Definitely, it just there's not a skip on there. I can listen to all of them.
Bro, it gives you main character vibes. Not gonna lie.
And then something else I'm gonna enjoy watching it next time is I feel like there was a suspense over me that like the last hour of that movie, like how are they gonna end this? And not having that over me no more, I think it's gonna change my perspective on how I can watch it too. Because now I kind of know how it's gonna happen. And
that was another thing too, is I think originally I saw something. This movie is supposed to be like 5 hours long. But that's what they
5 hours.
I want that cut, bro. I'd watch it.
But that's the thing, though. Is the next one going to be 3 hours?
We can pause. Next one going to be the bathroom.
This next one going to be 3 hours, and then when are we going to get it? Because originally they came out and said, "Oh,
it's next year,
March 2020."
Oh yeah, you're right.
Is it?
Yeah,
no, they might.
They might need more time.
I'm nervous
because at first I saw something, and I was watching, and they were like, "Yeah, Haley Steinfeld hasn't recorded any lines for the next Spider-Man movie," and I'm like, "Huh? What you mean she hasn't recorded any lines? They just said this movie's supposed to be coming out March 2024, and then now they made a statement of, "Oh, we're just enjoying the movie."
Okay, but really look how much time they got.
What you mean time? They don't got no time.
Oh, they got at least more. You got at least 6 months, bro. Take your time. Look, don't take a month.
It took 2 to 3 years the first time.
It took them 4 years to make one animation scene.
Well, the animation's already done, bro. Or in the final. Yes, it's already done in the final processes. They said it's supposed to be 5 hours. How is it already? How it's supposed to be 5 hours? How do you already have a part 1 and part 2? You already got the stuff. You just got to finish the last details.
Oh, okay, I hear what you're saying.
But it's like hearing it's just so much stuff like we don't know. And then also too, if they push it back, it's gonna be a riot. It's gonna be.
They already pushed. They pushed Across the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse supposed to come out last year?
Yeah, last year in December.
Yeah, last year, yeah.
Yeah, bro. They need to quit with them expectations, though. Just don't.
They need to stop before it turns into Attack on Titan.
just don't. I'd rather you not say that than they give me false hope.
The final part 5. Boy, what the hell, boy? We actually finally getting the final part now.
Dog, if they do that, oh my goodness,
bro! I don't even want to talk about AOT. They still haven't dubbed it yet, and there's no release date to it.
It's a wrap for you, bro. You might just watch it sub.
Bro, I'm thinking the next one sub's gonna come out before this one dubbed is.
Low key,
I have to take that, bite the bullet.
Man, all I know is Demon Slayer final episode season finale came out today, hour long. Gonna go watch it after this.
I said I actually have not watched it yet.
I think it's up on Crunchyroll. But yeah, man, we get into talking about anime. It's time for us to wrap this up.
I'm about to say,
we hope y'all really like this episode, really like the review. Hopefully we can give y'all some more reviews because there's a lot of stuff that done came out. So hopefully we'll try to drop it maybe just on YouTube and have it be short little mini reviews with maybe just us three, because who knows when Brandon gonna go and see these movies and shows. But as always, make sure y'all share, follow the podcast on all podcast formats that y'all use to listen to the podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, leave a comment on our YouTube page, and then also make sure y'all go and follow us on TikTok and Instagram, because why not? Why wouldn't y'all want to follow us on there? You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all go and do those things. Make sure y'all continue to be a good person. Do what's right. With great power comes great responsibility.
What would Spider-Man do?
C4 Table Talk out. Deuces.
See you.
Boss Bun.